So welcome everybody to the return of the Zooms. As some of you will be aware, we had to close them down because the apps weren't working, and since so many of you follow the Greyhound Star on your apps on your phones, it was a little bit of a pointless exercise continuing them. The new apps are both live now for the iPhone and also for Android for the first time. So welcoming back Corden Senior and Junior to talk about auctions and sales, and seems an appropriate place to do it. And kicking off with James. James, your new venture into the online auctions, I was following it last Sunday. I gather you sold a few?
Yeah, I mean, we started up again. Obviously, we had the first couple of weeks or 2-3 weeks of it, and it worked and it didn't work, obviously, and we had to think about it and a couple of weeks off and changed a few stuff, and we think it works a lot better now. And obviously, first week just gone by, there was 11 dogs in it. We sold 2, one for 7,075 and the other for 6,375, which obviously is decent money, and you've got to hope that they'll go on to be decent dogs. But obviously 9 didn't go sold, but there was still a lot of bids in them, and after all the sales are closed, we can obviously negotiate privately if that is something to try and get up nearer to the reserve price.
Yeah, I guess at this stage, you're kind of feeling your way through as to what the market wants, what kind of money it's prepared to pay, that kind of thing.
Yeah, obviously, and it's not hard to get all these dogs. So whatever dogs we get, it is good, and it offers people a range of different things. Because compared to the sales, we can put pups on this and stuff, so it is a lot more broad for everyone.
Yeah, I would assume that you're giving yourself a period of time to kind of perfect it, and it's going to take months, isn't it, really, until you know exactly what it is that the audience wants.
And you've got to compete with ground data, which everyone is used to. So it's trying to get them now into this new system, which is R1, and hopefully it can kick on from here.
Excellent. And have you got anything sorted for this coming weekend?
Yeah, I think we already have 4 entries, and hopefully we'll get more. So if anyone's looking to enter their Greyhound, go to www.greyhoundtrader.com and click on the sell icon, just fill in the details, and you have till Friday to do so.
Excellent. Going back then to sort of more traditional Greyhound sales, you've had, is it 3 or 4 so far?
We've had 4 so far. So we've done Toaster, Doncaster, Monmore and Romford.
Okay, and your next one, Toaster, is due next weekend, isn't it?
Yeah, week on Saturday, the 9th of October. And, James isn't at home, he's over in Ireland. We're having communication all the time and tearing each other's hairs out. We've had so many entries for this one. It's crazy. We're just looking at a board in front of me here now. We're fast approaching 90 entries, and all we're after is about 45 dogs. It's just gone absolutely ballistic. We've got new people ringing us all the time. I want to bring 6 dogs. I want to bring 8 dogs. I want to bring 12 dogs. I just think, from our point of view, it's great. It seems that we've established ourselves very quickly. I thought it might take a little bit longer than this, but hopefully people can put that trust into us, and that's why they're coming.
Yeah. Now, when we spoke earlier, I gathered that because you've had so many entries, you're even looking at a few other options.
Yeah, what we're going to do, we are going to, because our next sale after Toaster was Hove on Sunday the 28th of November. We're going to put another one in first week in November, and just agreed this afternoon that we're going to use Henlow on Wednesday the 3rd of November. So again, those 40-50 dogs that didn't get in this time, they'll be given first option for Henlow, but I'm sure if some of them can't make it, we'll be able to get a few more in to make it up to that 40-50, what we want to try and get every time.
Yeah, you and I had a conversation the other day. We were talking about the future, and I gather that there may be some complications in terms of people buying dogs in general going into 2022.
Yeah, just had a conversation with someone the other day, and it was more of a general conversation. That VAT thing has reared its head again. We've got to look at it. Their accountants in Ireland are sort of doing a little bit of a paper on it. We're going to speak to our accountant over here and probably put them in touch just to see what we can do to negate anything. We do think there is a way around everything. By simply going VAT registered, you might just have to say that's where the dog is going, and VAT might not be payable. But I'm not an accountant, and I'd sooner leave it up for them to go and have a chat and say, right, this is what we think is the best route for you all.
Yeah, I mean, it occurs to me that anything like this is going to be something that suits the system, whereby if you're doing this thing on a monthly basis, you're getting used to the people, getting used to knowing how the whole procedure works. I guess in many ways this could kind of be beneficial to your business.
Yeah, you never know. I mean, I think it's something James and I have been talking about over the last couple of weeks, because we're getting inquiries all the time. It is potentially something that we look at for next year, for 2022, and do a monthly sale. But because we're getting more and more vendors, we might sort of have sort of two groups of vendors. So, we have a group that do January, then miss February, come back March. So they've got the opportunity to restock, and there's not too much pressure on them going from, right, January, I've got to get some more dogs in 4 weeks' time to get for the sale. So we might sort of have vendors that do 6 sales a year each, and we just alternate between the two groups.
Yeah, and finally, the last thing I was going to raise is I gather from what you said previously that there was a little bit of I don't know, difference in attitude between some promoters and others as to feel the need that they would actually like sales.
Yeah, you could say that. So obviously, trying to sort out this one last minute, we sort of rang around a few and said, look, we've got these 40, 50 dogs. Would you like us to come and do a sale at your venue? And it just very strangely, some said no, but when you hear they're actually crying out for dogs, it's a bit of a bizarre one for me, but each to their own.
Each to their own. I mean, we in amongst the future Zooms, we'll be going back to the Greyhound stats, the Steve Kale system we've been using for looking at kennel strengths, and it's quite clear that some of these tracks have significant issues coming up. But maybe we'll tackle that another day. Gentlemen, thank you for joining me. It's been a great start back, and best of luck with the sale toaster next Saturday.
Thanks, Floyd.